Right, servos out because I really couldn't see what was going on in the area around this bulkhead. So it's had fairly extensive set of repairs. Let me just go back to this side, by the way. I wanted to just quickly highlight this, that perhaps 20 gauge steel is a bit on the light side for a body mounting. So I'm going to have to replace, it's not even welded on up there, pretty much the floor pan and the bulkhead mounting on the passenger side, but the rest of it, can live with it. This side, however, it's what happens when you get 40 something years worth of MOT patches, and so basically the A-post, even though the A-post has been repaired, it's then been welded onto the side of the bulkhead side piece, and this lump of steel here, which has then been patched because it's gone through again. Nothing wrong with the thickness of the steel on this thing, but you can see it's not been done for any longevity. You can see holes, pinholes through all over the place. We look at the inside, however, it tells a completely different story. And the story is, holy shit, really? So basically, it looks like it's had a new A-post section, kind of, I don't know, probably not welded onto the inside of the side body frame. That's the bulkhead there, which is not welded on to the A-post, but is on the other side. And then we just got patches over patches over patches over patches over patches over patches. And I think realistically, steering column needs to come out, pedal box needs to come out, but I need to cut from here straight down along there, take all this shit out, find out what's going on underneath it. And then pretty much everything up until where the new sills, where the sill's been welded up to. It's not beautiful, and this on the inside of the A-post, again, it's kind of been, where do I go with it? I've got to try and estimate this job up now. Oh, silicon. I haven't seen any silicon on this car so far. Loads of it up there. You can see the original bulkhead side panel there. Look, and then this piece here has been welded onto the outside of it. Yeah, so all of this lot's really going to need cutting out, pedal box out, that all out. It's not very nice, is it? And yeah, and all the way down here, look, that's all gone, knotted through. So everything, pretty much everything in here needs to be chopped out to do this justice. Estimate coming up. Now, on the other side, let's go around the other side, mindful of the disaster zone that's on this side, because this is a tale of two landings here, I tell you. Go around to this side. Oh, I'm tired. Naked. Oops. On this side, aside from a huge patch which has been welded in here, up here, along there, up there, and down again, that's all kind of factory there. It's had a new side panel welded onto it. It's had a A-post inner section bolted into place by the looks of things. It's pretty impressive, isn't it? Pretty impressive. And whoever did the bulkhead side panel on this didn't realise that you needed to take the bracket for the handbrake for the bonnet release cable out. This side, as you can see, it needs a world less work than that side. So it looks like that is 45 years worth of bodging. This side, someone has at least started to make an effort to tidy it all up. Dale, your light broke. It turned on, it flickered about 4 times, then it went off. I didn't want to electrocute myself, so I'll have a look at that later on. And then they've replaced the body mounting. So it's the original side to the body mounting there with 20 gauge steel. And you can see it's all bent and buckled and everything. So I'm inclined to remake the body mounting here. That's easy enough to get off. I mean, realistically, I can do this lot in situ. Would have been a lot easier without the engine in. I suppose I could undo the 10 bolts, take the engine back out again, but then, you know, it's an engine on the floor then, it's in my way. But I think on this side, you're fired. No, basically, you can see where the body mounting is here. So everything that's that side of the body mounting, I think is okay, apart from right down at the bottom end down there, which I'm going to have to take the patch off and see what's going on. Everything pretty much from here downwards has got to go. Everything from here that way has got to go. Yeah, I'm afraid. Right. Well, it'll come as no surprise, but having kind of peeled back one chunk of weld up here, we can see repair over repair over repair here. So I think that it is a wise decision just basically to chop the whole fucking lot out and start again. So I'm starting on the bulkhead side. I'm trying to separate the bulkhead side from the A-post, and then we'll work from that perspective there. But you can see we've got 1, 2, 3, 4 layers here. Pretty impressive. Pretty impressive. Yeah, I'm going to carry on chopping this out. Well, a little while later, so what have we found here? Well, first and foremost, the A-post closing panel, which looks to be actually quite recent. Yeah, it was just kind of wedged in, really, more than something else. So we'll probably do a bit better than that. The A-post is now free of the bulkhead. So the A-post is solid because it's mounted to the chassis. But basically I can get it to flex a little bit because I think all the bolts at the top end are all loose here. But now the bulkhead is free of this side piece here, I can start drilling out spot welds and just take as much of this off as I possibly can. So there's a panel that's been lap welded on up here that goes down over all of this rust and shite. So that's probably going to need to come off in order to see what's going on. I've got the reinforcing piece here, which my hand is over. The bolts go through to secure the front wing. I think that one and that one are the 2 bolts. So I think realistically we are going to be chopping or drilling out the spot welds on this bulkhead side piece next. So the bottom section here, that is the original edge of the kind of the bulkhead side. That would have gone down here, and these holes here line up with these holes here, which is fine. And then there's just been patches and patches and patches and patches welded over top of it. And then that was the kind of the top patch that went over right. Oh, yeah, that's quite shiny, isn't it? Could probably use that again. Went right over the top of it. But I could start to see now what I'm supposed to be doing here. And basically, if I get the Jemmy, Mr. Jemmy, and put him into the gap here, you can see that's the level of flexibility we've got at the moment, because there's nothing bolted onto the side of the bulkhead. But I should be able to now remove the remains of this whole piece and then just replace this piece in its entirety. I'm going to leave, I was going to take off the bulkhead mounting today, but I'm going to incline to leave that until I've got the bulkhead side on, then do the bulkhead mounting and the floor. Yeah, so today I've been using a mixture of tools. I've been using Mr. Grinder, and I have been using Mr. Chopper. Vinar. Yeah, nice tools these. I do like my chopper and my grinder. Trying to keep my chopper intact. And then really I think down here, because we've got holes up here, it's going to end up being something like, I'm probably going to have to cut along here. Try and retain this if I possibly can. I think I probably will be able to. Only because that's quite a sculpted piece there, and you can see it when you open the bonnet. So you want to try and keep that looking nice. And then I think pretty much from about there down it's going to go. It's probably the level of work that got done on the other side. However, a bit disappointed that just got wedged in. It's a waste of time, isn't it? If we look now at the inside and remember what it was like before. Oh look, there's the remains of it up there. That's the side frame, and that's the bulkhead. Yes. That just left all this shit here. What is the fucking point? I just do not understand it. I don't know why my phone just turns off, my thing turns off, and all of this lot just fell out as I was chopping. When Mr. Choppy was going choppy, 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 this lot was just falling out. So it was all trapped up here somewhere. Yes. Right, I'm going to crack on. See if I can get this bulkhead side piece out. The A-post looks to have been welded over the top. There's a whole load of filler in here, and that is actually cracked there, so I'm not even convinced that that is holding on there. Look, see daylight through it. Might have to get the door off here, or leave the door on it. Judging by the standard of the other work on the body frame, it might not be that great, so perhaps I'll go over this and just see what's going on in there. It does look to have been welded all the way around the outside except for the front edge, and it's a complete kind of one of these 3/4 A-post sections that's gone in, which I don't actually have a problem with at all in the slightest. However, looking at the rest of this bloody A-post, I might have been inclined to replace it right way up to the top, but who are we to judge? Yeah, my remit here is not A-post, my remit here is bulkhead, and I'm inclined to actually just do bulkhead. If I start digging into this, this will end up being a 1,000-hour fucking body restoration, and I do not want to be going down that route. I don't think my customer does either. So bulkhead. Now it's like that. It's actually, you know, I can see what it is I'm going to have to do. So it's fairly straightforward stuff now. So you can see protecting engine, Dale fire blanket. Dale, your light's broken. It don't work no more. So next time I see you, to find out why. It flickers every now and then, which is a shame. Right. Yes. Oh, that's better. So just using one of these style spot weld drillers, line of spot welds along the edge here. You don't have to take the A-post off or anything like that. Line of spot welds along here, and then there's 3 little spot welds at the top here, which I did on that side. There were a couple down here, but they weren't particularly vicious. So, looking at the inside of this, you can see the shape of the thing, and you can see roughly where there were some spot welds. But I'm going to replace this thing in its entirety now, top to bottom. There you go. And we're going to have a new bulkhead side panel on there. And then, when I've done that, I can then start to make up the rest of the bulkhead frame. But so far that's gone swimmingly. Now, windscreen is still all in place, and I've kind of deliberately left that all there because I kind of didn't want to go through all the alignment and stuff again. Yes, a million. That's the Yeovil Enveron scanner appeal. Okay. What screen have we got in here? It is a AV laminated. It's a laminated screen. Yeah, because there's a big chip there. But, yeah, laminated screen. It's all right, isn't it? Right. Parts need to arrive next, and then I can put this thing back together again. Before I kind of weld this back on, I need to clean these edges back, prime them, clean this edge back, repair this edge. I might need to chop that bit off first of all. Certainly need to cut this back because this is not going to be featuring on the on the rebuild. This is going to come out, this whole bloody floor section along here, up and around, because it's just, well, for want of a better word, shit. Sorry, Richard. Bloody hellfire. You see series about the series yesterday. Oh dear, look at that 4:45. Right, now son's car is going to go get his MOT sorted out tomorrow, so I just need to go and get that sorted. Right, so these side panels are coming from the DDS side panels. They're widely available, and they're a fairly good fit actually. I say that as if I'm surprised, and I'm not. They are a fairly good fit. Now the only things I've had to do with these, and I always have to do it, is just to knock this tab just a little bit further down. This piece goes up underneath the bulkhead panel, okay, the flat piece at the top of the bulkhead, base of the windscreen, and I always have to adjust this. But other than that, the holes I check using my where is it gone? It's over here. My trusty wooden template, which I built ages ago. I just make sure that the bolt holes line up. Now on this particular panel, the spot weld between this inner rib and the outer flat piece of steel wasn't absolutely bang on, so I just had to drill the holes out. I think it's a 5/16 bolt goes in there. Get the drill gauge out. My brain's not working at the moment, I'm afraid. Yeah, I'm going to go with 5/16. 5/16 UNF bolts that I use, and that's 8 mils slightly bigger. So that goes in. I had to drill the holes just to align the two panels, but now I'm happy with the fit on that. Okay, you can see all the holes are in a line, because you've got to start with a baseline somewhere, folks. You really have. And as long as one thing is correct, then you should be all right with the rest of it, really. Right, now let's have a look at the side of the car, because I've got some slight concerns with this. Let's just adjust you down a snag. If my camera tripod will work, clankety clankety clank. There we go. Let's move you over here so you can see what the fuck is going on. Right, okay, so we then got this A-post repair. The bottom 3 holes, I'm reasonably confident, are actually part of this A-post repair, and the top hole is original. So which one do I utilise? Do I use these 3 down here, or do I use this one up here? Now, I'm actually inclined to use this one up here, because it's part of the original A-post structure up here, and I've got no idea whether the person who welded this A-post had any idea about aligning it up. So, if I put the bolt through on the top hole, then the second hole is slightly too high, third hole slightly too high, fourth hole too bad, slightly too low. So they're a bit all over the place. So what I might have to do is to widen these holes out. Leave that one as it is, widen these holes up to probably about 9 or 10 mil, and they will probably line up. And then the next thing I've got is this inner panel. This piece should be welded onto the inside edge of the A-post, and it isn't. Check the alignment of the holes on this. Well, again, they're sort of there. So if I look at that's the top of the panel. Top 3 holes line up. Bottom hole is what, 2 or 3 mil out? It's something I can work with. Now, what I do, I'll just pop this panel hold roughly in place. The challenge, what a silly house. Put it down here on the floor, Richard. You're all shouting at me. Right, so panel goes in, this lip, just so it goes up underneath the bulkhead. There we are, that's in. And then generally try and get the front edge of the bulkhead to line up with this piece here. At the same time as lining up the bolt holes. So there's one bolt hole right there. You can knock the bolt through there, that's good enough. And then I get Mr. Clampy on the front here, and I get a rough idea that the other bolt holes are going to be lined up. Bottom one lines up, the rest of them aren't. The bottom one for that I can log in, and that's roughly where it needs to go. Now you can see these other two holes here on this made up panel are a way out, but the top and the bottom holes line up. That lines up roughly where I'd expect it to, but there's no real guarantees that this edge here is a reliable edge. That really needs to come forward a tiny bit. That's not a problem though. That will probably be down to the fact that the bulkhead's lifted very, very slightly here, and that down there is not bad. It's kind of roughly where I'd want it. If we compare to the other side, again, no guarantees, but compared to the other side, you can see that it's just aft of the panel, just below the lip there. It's how I see them going on. Right, so having got it roughly in the right sort of position, top and bottom bolts in, let's have a look on the inside. Doesn't that door open nicely? Now, here you can see the challenge I've got with this edge piece here, because it's completely missing from the car. It's just not been put in any way whatsoever. Not only that, but there's a whole load of rusty shit up here as well. So in order to do it, I might take that out. In order to do this, I'm probably going to end up having to take all of this edge off here, this whole edge, and in fact it's more or less off anyway. Look, pull it off. It's never been welded onto the A-post, it's just there. Door seal's been glued on. That can come out of the way really easily. There's no channel there. So that's done that piece. Take this piece off, take this piece up here off, and then I think before I put this piece on, I need to fit this piece to the inside of the A-post and weld it into place. It's been chopped around a bit, to be quite honest. Oh, do I just go and get a new one? It's a faff really, isn't it? But now that that bulkhead side piece is on there, once I've straightened this edge up here, so I'll put a straight edge down there and I'll probably line it between that, which is in line with the end of the sill. So that's the end of the sill there. You can see it's bent up a little bit there, but that's not a problem. So generally the A-post lines up with the end of the sill, and I've got the original line there. So all I need to do is just draw a straight edge down here and cut this piece straight. These holes, I just have to accept that they're not in the right place. I'm happy though that the panel is in the right place. Like I say, these things fit. Yes, I think. And then once I've got that in place and bolted to the A-post, then I can cut out the bulkhead mounting the footwell, because I will plug weld here, hold this in nice and tight. You can see here on the inside, sorry. If I was to pull that really tight there, drill holes from the outside and plug weld it through, I need to make a small repair down here before again this goes on, and then plug weld it in. I might, when I make that repair, I might cut this off and do this repair at the same time, which is going to be a lot easier with this out of the way, and then I can deal with the whole floor pan afterwards. I'm reluctant to cut too much of the floor pan now, because at the moment there's no well, I suppose there is actually, because the floor pan you can see is welded to the leading edge of the sill, and it's supported on the chassis using the mounting there, so I could potentially cut all of this shite out and make up a good repair. That's just the choke here, don't worry about that, folks. And then I could put the bloody brakes through. Oh dear, oh dear. Check this out, folks. That was just covered in filler, so that was bashed in. A massive great lump of filler. You can see all of the edge of it over here. I ground it all out. This is all the dust from the filler down here. Tons and tons and tons of it. And the reason I was doing that is because I was trying to take this panel off the inside here. I might have to get the dash off in order to do it properly. But there's only 8 screws holding it on now. As I was levering this to try and break the spot welds, it was flexing the hole A-post out. Like, what the fuck? So I'm going to dash out, take this off, weld a piece of steel in behind here, seam weld along top and bottom, flat it out. The door, to be honest, probably needs to come off. Nothing's really going to move around. It's going to make life an awful lot easier if this door's off the car. It's just, they're fucking heavy. And I'm on my own here. So then I started flapping back these welds here, because you can see all the daylight and everything through this. Look. You see the daylight through there? There we are, it's got the daylight. Look at that. Lovely, hey? So that's the other reason I wanted to take the door off, is to find out what on earth is going on here. I mean, that's just, well, I don't know really. I really don't. I've got no idea. So all that needs sorting out, but I need to fix the leading edge of the A-post, take the weight of the door off it, and then do it from there, is how it's going to happen. Okay, so now it's all apart. I can see basically what I'm dealing with here. So you can see the repair panel has been welded onto this piece, which hasn't been welded onto here. Probably be able to remedy it really just by cutting that down there once I've welded a piece in here. Might even just take this whole piece off. It just looks a fucking shambles, doesn't it? It really does. Cut. When I've welded this piece in here, I'm going to cut here, and this piece will fall off. I am struggling to get this piece off the inside here though. So the spot welds that run up the back of this lip, I've never been up all the way at the top here on other cars. I've drilled the spot welds over the far end over there. And he's not wanting to let go, I think largely because of the welds at the top here. So what I'm inclined to do actually is cut it across here and butt it up to that. Try and leave this in place if I can, because it's difficult to replicate. Yeah, I think. Bloody thing. Well, I wasn't really prepared for that. So basically, this box section is the same profile as this box section here, but look how far out it's been welded. So I chopped this piece off prematurely, so I can actually push this back here and line up that lip with that lip there. They should be in line with each other, and they're not. They're by some distance. So, oh, fuck's sake. And you can see the gap in there. That's how far out it was. Filler is all I can say. Filler. Now I tidied up this edge on the inside here, and there also you can see that you can see the original A-post here, and then you can see where the repair panel's been welded in, and it's all over the fucking place. It really is. With this damage up here, that's pretty, isn't it? It really is fucking. This job's just getting bigger by the second. Oh, for fuck's sake. I'm going to strengthen this up first of all. Let's strengthen this up. Do one job at the time, because otherwise what will end up happening is we'll just end up. What I really want to do, I think, is if I was to see that, I can pull that in line now on this edge. So really, knowing that I can pull it in line, I'm actually inclined to get a piece of steel in there and weld it in. I don't know if you can see any of that. I was looking at the work. See, now that and that, they're in line with each other. Which is kind of what you want, really. And that over there looks like it stands a better chance of being in line with this here. So I'm going to have to make myself a L section of steel to go in this gap. What I'm probably going to do is have it flush here, but behind here. If you get my drift. Because there's no, well, I suppose I could butt weld the whole thing from side to side. What I was originally planning to do was to just lob a piece of metal in behind it and then weld it, but sort of seam weld it either end, because I think it's going to be stronger on that joint than butt welding something in. Plus, this older steel invariably will just blow through with the power of the weld, whereas putting a sheet of metal behind it will prevent that from happening. At least it looks like it lines up now. You see here, and that goes down there. I'll put a straight edge on the back of that. See, that needs to go up there as well. Oh, God, it was. So that piece, which still needs to be trimmed, will go, and I'll trim this piece off that because I've already got it there. You see, cut that piece and that piece. So I'll measure how far down I'm going, cut this edge off here. So look at the piece we're talking about, Richard. Cut this piece off here, and then weld the rest of it, plug weld the rest of it to the back of the A post. But I need to sort this A post out before I do that. It's pointless. Well, at least I got some more grinder sparks. I'd nearly run out, in all honesty, so I'm glad I got some more. And of course, all of that bashing around and stuff is making this A post look worse and worse and worse up here. But once the screen comes out, you see, that could be repaired. But down here, I want to get this done because I want the bulkhead done. There's no point doing the bulkhead and not doing this, because this has to then, bulkhead has to come up to do this. It is what it is, and it ain't what it ain't.